Hello, thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Friday, January 24th edition of our video devotionals. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is the end of another work week and school week, and we're much later than normal. There's been a lot going on. I'll explain that here in just a minute. But we wanted to get this video out yesterday. We did not, and due to me being kind of out of town, and there was a dear friend of ours, she suddenly took a turn for the worse as far as her health goes, and she's in an unconscious state. And unless the Lord intervenes, then she's not going to be in this world very much longer. And I'm going to ask you to pray for this dear lady, friends of Christy and I, for probably, close to 40 years. And she's been a tremendous blessing. And I can't even go into all that she means to us and all she's done through many, many situations. So we may mention more of that perhaps on Monday. But at any rate, just want to say pray for her. And then a pastor passed away yesterday that's known here in our area, a good preacher, good pastor, and pray for his family, his church, and if you'll do that, that's a couple of my prayer requests, okay? All right, so we call this Fellowship Friday. We're taking some references from the Bible that deals with the word fellowship. We're going to be in 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 4. We're going to jump into it kind of quickly here. Bear in mind the word fellowship basically means a participation, a partnership with. And when you're talking about other believers, Christians, then there's truly a fellowship that's really only a fellowship amongst believers. Notice this very specific fellowship, all right? It says, praying us with much entreaty that we would receive the gift and take upon us the fellowship of the ministering to the saints. Now, we can talk about fellowship and being together and various reasons, and sometimes we just think about the coming together. Honestly, when you come to church, every single time you come to church, there is a fellowship of believers just by the very assembly, your very obedience to the command of being in the house of God. But here's one that deals with the fellowship of the ministering to the saints. You know, when we think about giving to needs, and maybe the pastor gets up or somewhere, maybe a Sunday school class, whatever it might be, and you say, could you give to this need? And sometimes we take up special offerings and love offerings and things like that. But think about the ministering to the saints, people that have a need, and you say, I want to help them. And it's something about a group of Christians that do that there is that specific fellowship that comes just by giving. There's something about that. And when you come together, know you've given for a need. Look, in general, people feel good about giving to needs, okay? For example, our state. Many people remember or know about the damage that was done by Hurricane Helene in the western part of our state. Well, a lot of people, a lot of churches, we ourselves, we've been up twice, and we're still going to go up a third time and take some supplies or take funds, whatever it might be, to help people. Anybody that does that feels good about themselves, and we shouldn't do it just to feel good, but there's a need, and we wanted to address that need. So I say that because when you look in the Bible and you think about a fellowship, a bond, a partnership, a participation, there is no greater partnership, no greater participation than when God's people do something together. In this case, it's the ministering to the saints. So every time you give, look, I know when we give our tithes and our offerings, I get that, and you think, well, that's generally for the operation of the church or that sort of thing, missionaries, that sort of thing. I understand that. But I want to say this, there's something about when God's people do something together for the cause of God, a godly endeavor, that there's a fellowship there that not only there's a bond between us, but it's just I guess for lack of a better word, there's just a joy that comes with that God says, see there, it's not just your helping, but boy, look at how you benefit just by your own feeling well about it, and maybe the blessings that God gives us. So that's kind of short and sweet, but hey, when you go to church this Sunday, think about the fellowship of being there with the believers. Think about when you have a common cause that you rally around, whatever it is, there's a great fellowship, and enjoy that, okay? Lord willing, we're going to be back on Monday, and that'll be the last of the week, last week of January. Amazing how we're already almost finished with this brand new month, but we are. But otherwise, be safe, be healthy, and all of that, and Lord willing, we'll see you back on Monday. Thank you.